More music, more of the time.
Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, we're back again.
And we ain't stopping.
You guys have the best music.
Turn it up!
The best music.
Four, three, two, one, zero.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and I want to welcome Rick LaBonté to the show. Tonight, we have a new series called Rock, Artifacts, and Rare Gems. We want to hear from you in the chat. We're doing the British Invasion. Let's keep it loose. Let's do it.
Grant's Rock Warehouse is trying to change the world one track at a time.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to get any looser than it is tonight because I have to. I just got off a show with Rand, and just to look forward to this, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce Rick LaBonté, everybody probably always wanted to know what Rand Kelly's favorite prog albums are of all time, because Rand Kelly, the prog father, ladies and gentlemen, right? We just did a show. I just did a show with Rand with his top 10 prog albums. So in the meantime, I had all this going on today, and I totally screwed up the graphics for this show. So you're going to have to pretend that I'm throwing the graphics up. But Rick LaBonté's here. He's a professional, right? Rick, you're a professional?
I try to be.
All right. So we're just going to have to wing it. We'll be all right. You got everybody out there and watching this show knows how we roll. Anyway, so tonight we have a new series. Rick, you're the one that came to me with this series. What tell me about it and tell everybody else about it out there. So,
well, obviously we both are music lovers, and many people that chime in on this channel and listen to this, listening party are expected you to turn them on some new music. And that is the goal right off the beginning. I've always salute you for that. And so I wanted to pick your brain about an idea. I was thinking, why don't we, with our extensive collection, get a chance to put our own compilation list together? Why don't we do a thing called Rock, Artifacts, and Rare Gems, where we play a double shot of a band, a song that is very timeless, that is, so important, it's an artifact, but then there's the rare gem that some people somehow missed it under the radar, or you're not a collector like us to know they exist, or you're one of those folks that just got the greatest hits and never went for the album discography and get some of those deep cuts. So we want to share that education and history. And that's one thing that we have in common, that we're both history buff. And if any way we can share a little bit of tidbit information, why it's relevant to what you're hearing today, because everything we listen to today is because of a product of the past. Music passed on a torch one way or another. Somehow somebody gets influenced by it. And so I think it's very important that we share some of those, how did it all come about? And sometimes some of the music themes that we'll tackle, like you've done Summer of Love, you've done, we were talking about doing surf music, we're talking about Woodstock era. For the British Invasion, there's an explanation to why this is called the British Invasion. Mm-hmm. And let's start with the beginning. Yeah. Obviously, we know as the Beatles made its way to America, changed a lot of the listening habit. Right? For Motown was the big thing. Surf music was the big thing. Beach Boys were the big thing. A lot of the pioneers of rock and roll of the 50s seem to be missing in action. Chuck Berry getting arrested. Little Richard found the Lord. Jerry Lee Lewis, he's getting some scandal about falling in love with his cousin. Elvis had gone to the army. There's a void in America. And of course, with a lot of political dynamics going in your country at that time, you got John F. Kennedy, a lot of things are happening, that there was a void that needed to be filled in music. Since Elvis went to the army, who's filling that? And that's when the British Invasion tackled Ed Sullivan Theater. Yeah. It made a roadmap for the other British artists to come in America. And that's
but don't forget, before the British Invasion, though, because the British Invasion changed everything. Before that, you remember they were trying to tame rock and roll. They had Fabian,
that's right.
They had
Fabian,
all these acts that were like pretty clean cut, and they were trying to tame it. But then, the Beatles came on the scene. Pretty much, I would say that the Beatles is where it started. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna go out on a ledge. I think if we all rub our chakras and maybe hold hands and say "Kumbaya," we might be able to play a Beatles song tonight. I uploaded the show prior to test it to see if it would get booted, and it didn't. So I'm gonna go on. I'm just gonna say, well, let me bring it up. Let's play a song, and I think that this track probably would. If I'm thinking of something that is like a track that would, when I hear it, this means to me, this is the start of the British invasion. What would you say, Rick? The first one?
Well, being in England, this is how they open a lot of their shows. And it's a great opener because it shows all the voices and it shows you their version of already a hit in America at one point in time. That's okay. You gave it, and
I gave it
a 3 note.
I'm just gave it a 3 note, but we're going to play it, and we're going to see now. Everybody, this is, you know how YouTube is. This is a risk. So if we get shut down, I'll have to make another stream. But I tested it and it passed, and let's just play it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play, we're going to play Twist and Shout. Oh my God, we made it through. We made it. I better hit stop because or we'll go to the next track. Anyway, so when I hear that signifies me that the British invasion has arrived. I don't know. What's your thoughts on, kind of stupid that we're talking. So Rick, what's your thoughts on Twist and Shout?
Well, I have to say that, for one, just hearing them getting excited, screaming, that was, again, very breaking, right, for the music at that time. what we know about when you watch people perform or laugh or smile, it gets contagious. They're having a good time, you're having a good time. And when you hear Twist and Shout, you can tell the boys are having a good time. You can just tell. It's just so much fun, enthusiasm, and them all to yell your head off after that.
Yeah.
For scale climb up, it just made you. It's fun. It's definitely fun. It makes you want to twist and shout with them, and I think that was a great. Now I thought of the song "Hard Day's Night" would be a great showing you we're conquering America, but let's face it, Twist and Shout is the reason why they get across the Atlantic, because they were a hit and a sensation in UK, and they open with that track all the time. And so I just think it's a great version because it's a cover and they beef it up. It's actually, for the time, you might even call it hard rock or heavy metal. For that time, that was pretty heavy. I mean, the hardest rock and roll of that up to that point, maybe Jailhouse Rock with the hard bar chords like that.
Well, think about it. You got a good point, I think, because think about 1963.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the Beatles version of Twist and Shout, that is heavy.
Big time.
Heavy. And
they're playing it themselves. Usually at that point, you were talking about how everything came. You had Gene Pitney, or you had all these people that are coming in and singing these ballads, Del Shannon and Fabian, and they were trying to show you the lighter side. So when the Beatles came with the long hair, playing all their instruments, making new rules to the song, a new approach. It was very, original, and it was like, stunning, shocking. And almost everybody who watched him perform at the Ed Sullivan Theater wanted to pick up a guitar, just like the time they saw Elvis play.
Well, I just brought up Rand Kelly, damn it, and that's what prompted Rand Kelly to play guitar.
So we got another deep cut, a rare gem, and it's something that you picked out of the anthology series. I think it's a great choice. Folks, it's surprising that they never release it. It's such a good song. I'm surprised.
Well, the thing is, I thought I picked something off the anthologies for the fact that it's getting a reissue. Now this is off. This isn't remix. This is the original mono mix. But you look at this track and you compare it to other tracks that were on Beatles for Sale. And you're going, well, why did this not get released? I don't get it.
Well, even as a single.
I mean, Mr. Moonlight, everybody hates Mr. Moonlight. But why put Mr. Moonlight on when you had this track? So we're going to play
it out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if I only had the damn graphic, we'd be great. But it doesn't matter. We can talk about it. We're going to play Leave My Kitten Alone, which was originally recorded for Beatles for Sale in late 64. Let's play it. I don't know why it wasn't released on the record, but just do it and play it, see if we can make it through the end. That's all I'm going to say, So anyway, should be playing. Come on. Is it playing? Should be playing. There it is. Yes.
If you don't leave her alone. Well, Mr. Dog, I'm gonna get you on the top of your head. The child is gonna miss you. You're gonna wish that you was dead. You better leave my kitten all alone.
I like this. I don't want this on there.
Well, I told you, big fat bulldog, you better leave her alone.
Star, nice to see you.
What do you guys think about that song?
Holy.
Isn't that a shame that was hidden all those years? I mean, I can tell the lead solo could have been, done a little bit, maybe another take. But other than that, that was the way, like 1 minute from being finished completely for, to release to the world. And we had to find it out like in 1996 or 95.
I mean, I don't want to be critical on Mr. Moonlight, Rick, but I'm just saying I'd
rather have an original than a cover, right? I'd rather have an original Beatles than a cover.
But, they were running out of songs then. Don't forget they had all originals on Hard Day's Night.
That's right.
So they were like,
that's right.
They were running out of songs.
And that was the third album to have all original. That's incredible stuff back in that time. And of course, that was influenced by Buddy Holly and many other their heroes, the fact that they're writing their own material. And so that was an encouragement for them to continue do less of it. And I'm glad we did,
Pookie, I'm with you. I do like That Means a Lot. It could have made the cut. I don't, some of these songs, they just didn't feel that they just had it. But, there's no bad, there is no bad Beatles, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. It's my favorite band anyway. West Coast Dave, Grant's Beatles Heaven. 100%. Tim Elliott, it should have been on Beatles for Sale. I agree 100%. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prague Father. There he is. He saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan on February 9th, 1964. I was 10. It changed my life. And, I was not born yet.
Many others, just like Grant.
Anyway, absolutely. So we're here just talking the British invasion. I mean, Leave My Kitten Alone. Do you think that should have been on Beatles for Sale? Let us know. I don't know. Oh, Starman Brimley. Okay. It says so much when unreleased lesser Beatle tracks still stand as gems side by side with the best of their peers at the time.
Agreed.
Starman, well put. Well put. Uh-oh. Pete must have traded in the car early. Pete, did you trade your car in?
That was his plan for the day. Yep.
What, the Toyota? Pookie gives it a 10. All right. I wouldn't be out until May of 64. Well, Tim, you're older than me. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, God darn it. I love it. We played 2 Beatles tracks and look, we're still here. I feel that this is like one of those moments where I feel like I've achieved something. Anyway, Rick, what do we have up next that we want to turn people on to?
Well, we want to talk about some of the bands that now follow in the footsteps of the British invasion, but they're now working on different heroes. Now, one of the things that we got to recognize that each band that we're going to point out, they all contribute, original music, but they bring some cover too. And their choice of covers would be different what the Beatles did, right? The Beatles started covering a lot of the Motown, some of the giants of rock and roll, but they wouldn't cover Elvis unless you get the BBC live at the BBC. You might get them doing That's All Right, Mama, and a few others, but they would never release a copyrighted version of Elvis because that was the management idea. But they made sure they salute the hero to Little Richard and Carl Perkins and so on. But when you get the bands like the Animals and the Rolling Stones, they go a lot further than the Beatles would do. The Rolling Stones, for example, would go into the Muddy Waters and the Howlin' Wolf and go into that kind of, and Chuck Berry. Whereas, of course, the Beatles did Chuck Berry. But then the Animals, they would do Ray Charles. They would do a lot of the R&B stuff, and they put their own slant on it. And I would argue that, again, every one of these artists bring up a little beef to the table. So it's a little harder than anything anybody heard at that time. And it's loud because the drummer's playing loud, everybody at the same volume, and vocals just head above wave. So it's a full track. And we're going to start with the Animals and the song called I'm Crying from 1965.
So this was off the U.S. album, The Animals on Tour. Now, you know how this worked, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the UK had their records. The Americans would get the records and bastardize them and put singles on them and redo them. So maybe the UK would have 3 albums, so we'd end up with 5 albums the way we milked the system. But anyway, this is off the Animals on Tour 1965, and there's nothing on here that's live, but that's what they called it. We're going to play I'm Crying, and this is the stereo mix, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Let me turn off echo cancellation like we always do. Let's do it. Let's hear some Animals in stereo. Here we go. The Animals. I'm Crying. Let me know what you think. Maybe if it comes. Must be a big space. There we go.
Knock upon my door. I don't have your loving anymore. Since you've been gone, I'm a hurting inside. But I want you, baby, by my side, yeah. I'm crying, I'm crying. Hear me crying, baby. Hear me crying.
Rachel retired. That would be a Vox Continental organ.
I'm lonely and blue, baby, every night. Hey, you know you didn't treat me right. And now my tears begin to fall. But I want you, baby, that's all.
Yeah, we didn't play any Dave Clark 5.
I'm crying.
We coulda.
Hear me crying, baby. Hear me crying, baby. Hear me crying.
Not this episode.
Next one.
Next one. We're not necessarily doing this in chronological order.
You know I'm crying. Hear me crying, baby.
We got some good ones for you.
Hear me crying.
Holy crap. The Animals. I'm not crying.
That's something.
That's something, isn't it?
I met
Jukebox
Eric
Cowboys
Burden.
coming in. You did?
Yeah, we was at the Blues Fest in Windsor, Ontario, and he came with his Animal Band, and also we also saw 10 years after I got to talk with Leo Lyons at that day. But anyway, I got to hang out with him, and he's a real short dude. I couldn't believe him. He's a little gnome actually, and he's so polite but he command respect. The moment this guy comes in, all big voice come out of such a small individual, but he was so charismatic. And of course, he played this very next song, and the way they opened up the show. And we know that this became a soundtrack for many people who lived during this time. There was always a road song for people want to get out, if they were going traveling or just gotta get out of the house because you're cabin fever. This is a song you might play.
The web's going great. Love your, well, yeah, I can't make any money off of it, but that's all right. I don't care. I'm not doing this. I am not into this for money. It's just about turning you guys onto stuff.
That's right.
There, Pete's he's going over to his other profile. All right, cool. Let's keep it moving. Now, I want to say this track though, Rick, when I was playing in the bands in the 80s, this is one of those tracks that I mentioned to the band, and I said, you know what we should play? This track. So let's play it. You've all heard it. Phenomenal. Well, this is like one of my favorite Animals. Let's just keep it moving. We've got the Animals with We Got to Get Out of This Place. So here we go, right?
Now you know why he likes this song. Grant, the bass player.
Oh, if there's going to be a Sea of Tranquility festival, we're playing this bitch right
here. People tell me it ain't no use in trying. My little girl, you're so young and pretty, and one thing I know is true. Gonna die before your time is due. See my daddy in bed, he's dying. See his hair turning gray. He's been working and slaving his life away. I know, as he's been working, yeah, every day, slaving his life away.
You know I'm in.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. My little girl, you're so young and pretty, and one thing I know is true. You'll be dead before your time is due. Yes, you will. See my daddy in bed at time. See his hair been turning gray. He's been working and slaving his life away. Yes, I know.
Eric Burden, baby.
Yeah, man. Nope.
We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. Oh, baby. We gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do, we gotta get out of this place. Girl, there's a better life for me and you. Oh, you know it, baby, and I know it too, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. That Eric Burden vocal on that track, Rick.
Oh, brother.
Let me know what is your thoughts on that track?
Well, buddy, when I saw him sing, he could go 3 feet away from the mic and come back, and he was so loud. He was always going like this. He's such a powerful singer for a smoker and a partier. He was had a lot in him, and I gotta tell you, one of the things that the guy does a great Sam Cooke. He does great Ray Charles. If you listen to the whole anthology of the Animals, you see that he had a charismatic vocal, and then when he worked with War, I mean, he's just amazing. But the thing is that he is it's just so charismatic to watch him hold it all in a bottle and then blow it out right on a song. Like, he'll tease you with his vocal and then he let it out by the time the chorus comes. I mean, like, think about even songs like The House of the Rising Sun or other songs like that where he leaves the killer climax at the very tail end. And up to that point, a lot of people say, "Oh, I can sing this," until they hear him say, all the other stuff. They, he got a great way of projecting his voice and be loud and then be delicate at the same time if he wanted. He really had a lot of vocal control. So I admire him, and I was glad I got his autograph, and I'm glad I got to shake his hand.
Yeah, I think the Animals kind of taken a back seat because don't forget, the Animals didn't really write very much of their own material. I'm Crying was written by the band, but they played a lot of stuff that were covers and a lot of blues-based stuff. So, by 1966 and stuff, where all the other bands were just going, big guns ahead of everybody. But, the whole thing with the Animals, they fell apart in 66 anyway.
That's right.
I'm just saying, but I think they don't get enough credit because I don't think they wrote a lot of their own stuff. But, you look at Eric Burden, Rick, as a vocalist, I'm just going, and the band was top notch.
And at that time, they were a great live attraction. And eventually, the partying lifestyle would make them a little up and down in the 60s, and have band problems, and they're not having the same lineup. And so it became, it went sour on them. But they had a good thing going when they had it. And it was all part of that British invasion. They ride on that wave for a long time. And then, of course, when the psychedelia came in, they took a while to find themselves, right? So, but they did go make the Monterey Pop Festival. They did write that song, Monterey, and they were still important. But by the 70s, they were almost forgotten, and that's where he joined War and did other things. So, unfortunately, but the reality is we couldn't do a British invasion without including the Animals.
No. Well, no.
Now let's go with a band.
Al did say that the Animals are still in the Hall of Fame, though.
Yep.
So there you go. All right, let's keep
important.
going.
Now, another most important thing, obviously, there are two bands that still touring today from the British invasion. And this one had a lifelong through the 60s, not only doing covers, but had their hits of their own. And when they noticed that more hits were of their own and getting better at the chart, they were encouraged. So Richard and Jagger kind of tipped their toes. I mean, you had the Beatles write a song for them, right? I Want to Be Your Man. It wasn't a comforting thing for them to make their own music, but they were encouraged. They were forced to do it because it was part of the norm. And we're thankful they did, because they end up having some unique chemistry with Jagger and Richard, and the Rolling Stones folks started making it big for the rest of the British invasion. They helped make it a lot more. They joined a bunch of tours where you have, Jerry and the Pacemakers, and you would have all these different other acts. Dave Clark 5 that somebody mentioned. They're all becoming a circus act, bringing that British act all around. And the Rolling Stones hitched a ride with that, and they made a great career. So we got a couple of songs for you. Now, I think it's one of those hard things. Like, we could, how difficult it is to pick two songs of all these bands. So that's why we'll mention these honorary mentions, right? But they're so good.
You did pick one that most people will know, and then I picked something else that maybe you might not know as much, but
it's a rare gem, right?
It's a rare
that's why
gem.
We're doing it. So here's a rock 100%. Artifact. We'll start with this one, and you know it. It's a mono version that he's using from Out of Your Head, London, 1965.
Yep.
Last time.
All right, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you think. Of course, you've probably already heard all this before. Maybe you haven't heard it lately, but that's what this show is about, just to reintroduce you into some things that maybe you haven't heard for a while. So, The Last Time, Rolling Stones!
True rock artifact.
Well, I told you once and I told you twice, but you never listen to my advice. You don't try very hard to please me. With what you know, it should be easy. Well, this could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no.
Should have played that too.
Sorry, girl, I can't stay. Feeling like I do today.
They were angry.
Too much pain, too much sorrow. 'Cause I feel the same tomorrow. Well, this could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I told you once and I told you twice. Someone will have to pay the price. Here's a chance to change your mind. 'Cause I've been gone a long, long time. Well, this could be the last time. This could be the last time. Maybe the last time. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. Last time, baby, the last. I say no more. Not no more. Well, not no more. Well, not no more. Not no more.
That outro on that, it's really long.
Yeah.
So good. All right, there
Did
you
you
go.
know this? Did you know this? That the Who recorded this song when
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones were going through a drug bust, and they put out this song, and they did another one, and they it was an album to help raise funds to help them with the drug bust situation. And the Who,
Yeah.
I have it. It's two. They did
It's
the
on,
last time.
it's on Who's Missing, or it's on Two's
Yes.
Missing, I think.
And I think I had it on the Maximum R&B box set too.
Oh,
I got
it's-
so many stuff of the Who. It's ridiculous.
If
But
you
yeah,
went through Rick's stuff, you'd probably be blown away. You thought that Pardo had a lot of stuff. Just saying.
well, when it comes to the history of rock and roll, especially in the '60s, I got a lot of that stuff.
There you
Hey, good
go.
to see you, John, out there. I just wanted to also mention that the Rolling Stones also had a lot of successful records, but just like you mentioned about U.S. and Canada, the
Mhm.
running order are different. But if you're a collector, sometimes I like when I did the British invasion collection, I did all the UK. But when it comes to Rolling Stone stuff, I went the American route because the less of it got repeated. It's opposite than the Capitol thing with the Beatles. And so anyway, it's just something to mention. And the reason that is, just so because I learned this a long time ago because of that the long play, the LP, has a few more minutes. The groove are tighter, and they can fit a couple more songs than the American press. And so there will be extra songs, 2 songs more. Like if you got Band on the Run, you had Helen Wheels, but the American didn't have it. You had to get that. And then later they did, but some of the first pressing didn't have the same length of time on the record. If you had a Tom Jones album, it would be 4 songs more on the UK version, and then the American version. But what's weird about the Stones, they did it short, but at least no song repeated, and you get the whole collection that way.
Yeah. Well, that Rolling Stones track, the last time the mono came off Out of Our Heads on the US album, I don't know if it was on the UK version of it. I can't remember. I ripped it from the mono box set. Anybody know that mono Rolling Stones box set? Does anybody have that? I've got that. Anyway, the next track we're going to play a track off Aftermath. Now,
great album.
Now, this is, if anybody knows this, if you ever go on the Steve Hoffman site, if you're into like sound quality, this is often considered the best version of Aftermath. This was the original European release that came out, 86, 85? But this was mastered. You remember any Mobile Fidelity fans out there, okay? You remember when Mobile Fidelity back in the day put out the Rolling Stones box set on vinyl? Well, these are from that. So this is a Mobile Fidelity mastered CD back in the day on London. So this next track is often considered, how much more geekier can I get? This is almost considered the sound quality on this next track. We're going to play I Am Waiting from Aftermath 1966 is just absolutely, Tim, better than the SACD. Go on Steve Hoffman's site and look it up. Look up the original London Aftermath CD. I have the red banner.
SACD, yeah.
Well, let's play it anyway. So we're just trying to turn you on to stuff, and we're just hanging out tonight. All right, let's hear it. Anything you want to add before I hit play?
Well, that album is amazing, first and foremost. Right. It really showed the seriousness of the band, bringing other instruments in there, starting to experiment, but this is on the verge where they still have 1 foot of the British pop, and this would be the art rock. This is the album just before you get all that psychedelia that is coming around the corner. So it's like it's a transition album, I would think. Yeah. If anything, it's like Revolver or Rubber Soul for the Beatles, that transition. This is where the Rolling Stones are. And great songs on there, Under My Thumb and Stupid Girl and all these great too, Lady Jane. But this is a classic and a rare gem. Nice choice, Grant. I'm glad you picked it.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So this is off that Mobile Fidelity Hey, I'm just trying to turn you on to stuff. Let me know if you like it. Of course, we're streaming it, but it really does sound really good. I'm just saying. Leaving it there.
I am waiting. I am waiting. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I am waiting. I am waiting. Oh yeah, waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. Waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. You can't hold out. You can't hold out. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can't hold out. You can't hold out. Oh yeah, waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. Waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. See it come along, don't know where it's from.
100%. Great song.
Good choice.
Stand up coming years and escalation fears. Oh, yes, we will find out. Well, like a winter storm, fears will pierce your bones. You'll find out. Oh, we're waiting. Oh, we're waiting. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, we're waiting. Oh, we're waiting. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. Waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. Oh, we're waiting. Oh, we're waiting.
I don't know how you could pick your favorite Who song, but
I really can't. I have a hard time picking the album. I would say Who's Next and all the other stuff, but there's a lot of gems like Pictures of Lily,
yeah.
Sad About Us.
A lot
these
of great
gems are
power
not-
pop.
Yeah. But let me say, for the Stones, there's so many we could play. And now volume 2 of next time we do a rock artifact on the British invasion, there's a lot we could do. We talked about Spider and the Fly. We talked about a lot of the obvious one, but we also want to make sure we can throw a sneak surprise. And I'm glad you picked this one. Now, some people in the chat been waiting for the next band, and you shouldn't wait too long when we're talking about British invasion, when we talk about the Kinks. They are the power of rock. You know, they brought in the punk before punk was even heard of. They brought a lot of attitude in the rock and roll of the British. And but they do a lot of great covers too, like great versions of some of the rock and roll, American rock and roll that people wouldn't know. Like Aerosmith and many bands will cover their version of Milk Cow Blues and make it a little bit heavier. But songs like this, bands like the Kinks, they were really good, but they were much original too. They had just as strong of doing a good cover. If you get the early album, they can write an easy hit, just like Lennon and McCartney. They really had a momentum going. And we're going to start with this one from 1965, All Day and All Night. And this sums it all up. They can kind of give you, if you had to sum up a band in 3 minutes, this does it. Or You Really Got Me. Either way, these songs work.
This works. Now in the UK, this was a single, but here in the States, it was released on reprise on the Kinks size record, that yellow album cover.
Yes,
that's got them on it. Because, like I said, the US they repackaged everything. But the thing is, I will say this: the good thing about that is that we got the singles on an album. So if you weren't buying singles, you could still get it. So anyway. All the date and all the night. I can't imagine anybody hasn't heard this, for God's sake. All right, let's play it. Here we go. All the Day and All the Night. The Kinks from 1965 off Kinks size. Or it was on the single. So here we go, if it ever plays. There it is. Woo!
I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time. The only time I feel alright is by your side. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time, all day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. I believe that you and me last forever. Oh yeah, all day and night I'm yours, leave me never. The only time I
don't know.
feel alright is by your side. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time, all day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. Oh, come on!
that you and me last forever. Oh yeah, all day and nighttime yours, leave me never.
No Jimmy. Nothing wrong with Jimmy. I love Jimmy.
Me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Count. Oh my Lord, the Kinks, everybody. What other than what's already been said?
It's great to see the comments and everybody showing their enthusiasm over this. You know, it was hard to pick the second song. He picked the next one, but I had all kinds of suggestions like Tired of Waiting, Sunday Afternoon. And then I'm seeing a Sunday Afternoon. I'm seeing all those songs come up on the chat. It's great. Not the great thing to have. It's a problem to pick two songs. It's difficult. But you chose this song. Tell them all about it.
Wait a minute. Got the Kinks Greatest Hits Enhanced Stereo Vinyl. How do you have that, Wizard? Because all this stuff was mixed mono. The first album was stereo, but all this stuff was... I want to know what greatest hits you've got. The CD was missing a no, the mono mix is good. Though I'm going to play a track. Yeah, like Rick was saying, we're going to play a track off of something from 1966. Now, everybody's mentioned Dave Davies, and we're going to play a song from Dave Davies. We're going to play the opening track from Face to Face 1966. This track is in stereo. And this, which is great, is that it is Dave Davies and he's opening the album. So I thought we'd play, maybe not everybody knows this, but Face to Face is like one of my favorite Kinks albums. So Starman's already on it. Let's play it. Let's play some, we're going to play some, here we go. It's stereo.
Jim.
Hello, who's that speaking, please?
I'm on a party line, wondering all the time who's on the other end. Is she big? Is she small? Is she a she at all? Who's on my party line? Wish I had a more direct connection. This party line was here when I arrived.
None. No other band.
If they don't do something about finding out the person who is on my party line, I'm on a party line. I'm on a party line. I can speak without an interception. This is private, please get off my line. Please tell me when I can have my privacy. I'd like to meet the girl who's always talking when I'm speaking on my party line. Wish I had a more direct connection. This party line was here when I arrived, and I'm not voting in the next election. If they don't do something about finding out the person who is on my party line, I'm on a party line, wondering all the time who's on the other end. Is she big? Is she small? Is she a she at all? Who's on my party line?
This is the very first. Yes, it is.
Party line.
This is the very first issue of
On
it.
my party line.
Holy mackerel.
You gotta admit, this band sounds more British than all the ones we played so far. When you listen to the vocal, Like Eric Burden, you wouldn't know he might be American the way he approached his vocal. Even the Beatles tried not to sound so obvious and only George Harrison couldn't get away with it when he sang songs that showed his British accent, and yet the Kinks, they don't hide it. Whereas the next few other artists, you might not have known unless you knew because of the Union Jacket, the clothing that they wear on their outfit, you wouldn't have known. But isn't the Kinks wonderful? I mean, they, unfortunately, they could have been even bigger. Unfortunately, they got banned from going in the U.S. and had a hard time. And then they just focused on the British market for the many, many years. But for one time there, they were shoulder to shoulder with the Rolling Stones, the Animals, and the Beatles conquering America at one time, all trying to get some real estate and get their name out there. But by the 70s, they took a different role, right? It took a different direction and been going the direction of art rock. And they wouldn't come back to this rock and roll we know until the late 70s, low budget and a few other things, and started reinventing themselves. But this is an interesting band, of all the British Invasion band, this was the last one for me to collect all. I had the Stones and the Who and all the Yardbirds and everybody before that. So I'm glad that I took a deep dive and went down the rabbit hole, because the Kinks has a lot of great music that people just don't know here.
100%. Yeah, so Starman, I was going to say this starts out with Party Line. This, as far as I know, when I bought this is the first PRT CD that came out. It's a West German pressing. I mean, as far as I know, this was where it all started. And like I said, if you go on Steve Hoffman's site, everybody always recommended them. I never got any of the other remaster stuff. I mean, this was fine. I've always thought that this sounded fine. But I don't know. It's fine. I don't know.
I did get all the remastered because I'm a completist. So, moving on.
Well, we're at 57 minutes, and if we go over, it's the witching hour. Now, I'm going to leave it up to, I'm good if we want to start a new stream, but we're going to have to start a new stream.
We're about 3 bands away from our list, so what do you want to do? We have 3 bands.
What does everybody else want us to do? That's the question.
We have 3 more bands out there that we wanted to complete this, and we can tip them off if you guys want to hang out. We have next we were going to do the Yardbirds, them, and the Who. You mind if we continue? Let us know.
Fine. Fire up a new stream. All right, keep going. All right, so I have to put it together because I don't have it up. So if you give me 5 minutes to refill, drain the lizard, Rick and I will be back, and then Rick, I have to send you the link.
You got it.
All right, give me 5 minutes. Are you cool for 5 minutes? Okay. If you're cool for 5 minutes,
this thing keep on going. More music, please. So what do you want to do?
We're going to do it. All right. We'll be right back. Thanks, Rick. If you can't come back for the second half, thank you. Please leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Let us know if you like this series, because Rick gave me the whole list of all the topics. And by the time we get to the end, I'll be dead because there's not much time left. So I will be dead, but we're going to give it a shot. All right. 5 minutes. We will be right back. So look for it on the Warehouse.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.
Thank you, everybody.